So after King Lamoni has woken up from this amazing conversion experience, he preaches to his wife. She falls down in joy. Lamoni falls down in joy. Ammon falls down in joy. And everybody in the household basically has been overcome with the Spirit, except for one woman, Abish. And it says, verse 16, it came to pass that they did call on the name of the Lord in their might, even until they had all fallen to the earth, save it were one of the Lamanitish women, whose name was Abish. She, having been converted unto the Lord for many years, on account of a remarkable vision of her father. So we get this, one of the few named women in the Book of Mormon here in Alma chapter 19. I find this to be one of the most fascinating episodes in the Book of Mormon. And the reason is, I think Abish is far more powerful and valuable for us as a witness about God than we perhaps may have realized. And let me just share just a couple of potential possible insights here. So let's take her name. It can be broken down into two different Hebrew words. The word Ab means father. And you find the word Ab in names like Abraham or Abraham. And Abraham means father of multitudes. And it's interesting because Abraham's name actually is a signal around the covenants that God has made with him. That the Abrahamic covenant is about God multiplying Abraham's posterity. So that's what Abraham or Abraham means. And the word Ish means man. So in Hebrew, if you put those two words together, Ab-ish, her name would simply mean father is a man. Now, this is a proposal. I mean, we don't know with 100% certainty that this is all totally correct, but I'm just offering a proposal here that we are told in the Book of Mormon that the people who wrote knew Hebrew and Egyptian, and these two words are Hebrew names, and if you put them together, you actually get this sentence, father is a man. I actually think what's going on here is that her name signals a truth that is actually packed in to the narrative. And what's interesting here, if we could translate this back into Hebrew, the word father seems to show up twice. You have it in her name, Ab, like Abish or Abish. And at the end of the verse, it talks about this remarkable vision of her father. And over the years when I read that, I thought, oh, that's interesting. She had a very righteous father who'd had a vision of God, and her father taught her that truth, and she was converted. And therefore, she had silently been a believer all along. And so when this whole experience happened, she was already converted and didn't fall down. But as I learned about the potential Hebrew meaning of her name, I wondered actually if there's something far more significant. In fact, it may be that her name wasn't simply indicating that her earthly father had a vision. I wonder if her name literally is a testimony of something that she had learned in her own vision. I wonder if Abish actually had a vision of God the Father, and that she learned in that vision that God the Father is a man. And that actually would be stunning and revelatory. And if this proposal is correct, it would mean that Abish is the only named woman in Scripture, aside from Eve, that actually has seen God the Father, which makes her story all the more remarkable because she's evidence that all of us have access to God in his full glory. And I just love the possibility that her name may actually witness about one of the most important things about God the Father, that he is a man. In fact, most importantly, he is the man of holiness. And that's the experience that Lamoni and his whole household are experiencing, the overwashing holiness of God's love that has caused them to sink down into joy.